Hey everyone, it's Derek here with Moy Sauce Productions, and today we are going to talk about the Air Nano by Crazybaby. So they compete with a lot of different things like the AirPods from Apple, the Bose Sound Sports, the Jabra, and a few other brands. I've had these for about 3 months now, and I've been wearing them basically every day, listening to music, making work calls, and a lot of different things. So my basic feedback is pretty positive for 75 bucks. My buddy and I got into the early, the early buyers or what have you, and we bought two of these, so one red one and one blue one like this. I wish they had a more royal blue, but they have a bunch of different colors that you can actually choose from, which is a nice change of pace. Now, talking about the actual pricing, it was 150 bucks for two pairs of these, so 75 bucks each. And if you buy a single pair, it's $99, so $50 less than the typical AirPods that one would purchase. Now, I'm going to tell you, is it worth the $100 that you would pay for these? So let's start off with the actual design of this. Overall design is pretty nice, I think. It's a nice compact case. It's a little bit awkward. It's like a capsule, similar to stuff from Dragon Ball Z or something that you would get in a pill form that has medication in it. It feels plasticky, and it sort of feels a little bit cheap. There's a little bit of wobble, if you can see that, in between here. But the overall build quality is fairly decent. I don't think that's too big of an issue in my opinion. There's a little LED here that turns it turns yellow if it's charging and green when it's done charging, so that's pretty straightforward. And for this, there are LED lights that round the entire earbud here, and obviously there's two of them, and inside here there's sort of a magnetic two-prong thing that connects with these here. One of the issues that I've had is actually trying to fit them in there. I've placed this in here a few times where I didn't know which was left and which was right. It would be great if there was a way to designate them, or other than, having a R and an L on them, some other way of differentiating them. And I was a little bit confused on how I was actually supposed to place them in my ear. It looks like since the L is right here, that I would place them this way into my ear, but sometimes it actually seems like it would fit better going the opposite way. So I'm not entirely sure still how it's supposed to fit in your ear. The connection is pretty good. However, my buddy and I have had some issues with connectivity where it would just randomly lose it, and it would randomly just go off or go on. I haven't necessarily had too many issues with it, but it hasn't been perfect. And it's definitely not as good as sort of something like, the problem I believe is there's two different earpods, and they're supposed to connect together, and then they're supposed to connect together to your phone. So I can sort of understand the issue with connectivity there. The other issue is battery life. For earbuds like this, battery life doesn't last too long, so the typical battery life for these I averaged around 3 hours. Another thing that I actually had an issue with was the sound for calls actually only comes through the left ear, which to me is super annoying because when I hear or listen to a call, I want to hear it on all ears. So I found myself just for business calls, I just place it in one ear, and I'm just talking to them in one ear, and it's nice. The sound's pretty decent. I have a sound clip of me calling myself and playing on a voicemail, and it doesn't sound the worst in the world. It's fairly isolated, but yeah, it's definitely not the best with clarity.
Man, this Bluetooth device that only spits in audio through the left ear is kind of screwed up, so can't hear much. Have to return up the Bluetooth volume. Pretty bad. But I'm running now, and this is going to give you some of the audio that I want to put on the review because it's not that great.
Hey, I'm just testing the by Nano, or just Air, Crazybaby by Crazybaby. It's kind of hard to talk with both of these things in your ear, but apparently the sound only comes through on the phone. So now I am talking through the lightning port connected to the headphones of an iPhone 7, and now I'm going to unplug. We're going to do a test with this thing as well as without. So now I'm going to unplug it. I want to test this out as well as testing this out with the speakerphone. So now I'm going to switch to speakerphone. I'm currently talking in the direction of the actual lightning port. I am wondering if this is any better than talking on Bluetooth.
So like I said, with the actual recharging of this, they actually call it super fuel technology, and it actually takes 5 minutes to charge to provide 90 minutes of actual music listening. So that's a really nice feature that these have. It's a very similar thing to what AirPods have as well. I tried it both on Android, on a Samsung Galaxy S6, and also with an iPhone 7. So I tested them out with both, and it seems to work better on Android. So just keep that in mind, that it's not the easiest to connect to an iPhone. It works a lot better with an actual Android device. What I experienced with my iPhone 7, which is my daily driver, with Netflix, with YouTube, with basically any video software or apps, the audio would lag. It seems to be less of an issue if you only connect one of the earbuds, but if I'm going to listen to something, I'm going to listen to both of them. So it wasn't an issue with music really, but obviously if you're watching a music video or anything like that, or YouTube videos, the sound does lag. So I only had this issue with an iPhone, but I did not have the issue with Android. So a little bit of an issue there, so that was kind of annoying. It fits really well, at the very least in my ears, and they come with a variety of different size earbuds here, and a lot of different fitments. So they have sport wings too, and to help keep them in your ears. I specifically did not like them. They were kind of very cheap and very flimsy, so I've just been using these normal ones and just stick them in my ears. To go along with the pros, what I did like is that these stay in my ears. I went on a few different runs. I would, whether it was outdoor running or running on a treadmill, these would stay in my ears flawlessly. So that's something that I really liked. And they do have, they do work with Siri, and they do work with Google Assistant, so that's something that's really nice as well. There's specific button taps, so like 1 tap would pause it, 2 taps would push you past the next song, and 3 taps would take you to the previous song. There's no way to change the volume. However, on, well, since Google Assistant or Google Voice or whatever it's called nowadays actually listens to you a little bit better than Siri does, you're able to actually change it to a percentage. So you would say, you know, hey Google, change the volume to 35%. That would actually work. Now if you worked that on Siri, it would not work as well. I believe you can either turn it all the way up or all the way down, so not the most helpful thing. So to go along with the fitments, these actually sound pretty good. They're a little bit tinty, but for earbuds in general, they're pretty good. They're definitely better than the standard headphones or earbuds that come with the actual phone itself, and they're better than countless earbuds that I've heard or listened to. And these are wireless, so it's a breath of fresh air when you get that. And in addition to that, they're loud. So if you are one of those people that like to blast the music into your ears, these definitely are something that you should take a look at. If you're strictly just listening to music or taking calls, and you're okay taking calls in just one ear, then I would definitely recommend these. I don't like that they blink every 5 seconds. So for example, I was wearing these on an airplane, and these LED lights are kind of bright. So that's something that I thought wasn't the greatest. Like, you can either have like a low blink or just not blink at all, something like that. But that's something that I thought was kind of interesting and kind of weird. In addition to that, there's also USB-C. USB-C is a breath of fresh air. I don't like it, mainly because all of my connectors are either lightning cables or they are micro USB. So yeah, that to me is annoying. But the other annoying part is this. This charging cable is a total of 8 inches from this part to this part. So that's something to me that's really annoying. Like, it only works if I want to connect it to my laptop. I can't connect it to a wall charger or anything like that. That's something that I thought was super annoying. Once I put these in the case, they should automatically turn off, but they do not. And once I take them out of the case, they should automatically try to connect. That, in my opinion, is sort of, I think one of the advantages of like AirPods is that I believe once you take them out and put them back in, they automatically turn on or turn off and try to connect to your devices. Would I buy these for $100? Would I recommend them? That depends on specifically what you plan on using them for. Now, if you are just using them for listening to music and going to the gym with them, yes, I would definitely recommend them. However, if you ever plan on watching videos, watching YouTube videos, or watching Netflix, or really using them for watching any type of video, then I would definitely not recommend them unless you have Android. And if you have Android, then they really work pretty well. It has Bluetooth 5.0, so I'm not entirely sure why it loses connection from time to time. If you're looking for something fairly small, fairly slim, and something that you want to go work out in. So if you're a runner, somebody who does a lot of action motions, these are definitely good. They stick in your ears, and they sound pretty good. So anyways, rambling is over. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, feel free to give it a thumbs down. And if you are in the market for the Air Nanos by Crazybaby, feel free to check the link in the description. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.